You know, on this channel on Dr. Pundit, I love talking about songs, about music, about acts, but I also like talking about how a lot of the sound of songs, particularly songs from my favorite decade of music, the 1980s, really kind of came to be. How certain modes of technology helped create the sounds of certain songs that became indelible, irresistible, and ultimately memorable. One of those tracks is by the group called the Korgis. That's Korgis. And their biggest hit, Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime. Fairlight synthesizers were starting to fill up the airwaves at the beginning of the 1980s, and you generally hear them in the service of robotic, kind of thumping songs as human met machine and some kind of funky, dystopic rhythm. But the Korgis used the instrument in somewhat of a novel way, creating a bed for a dreamy ballad that ultimately turned out to be Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime, earning the band's biggest hit in its career. Now for the genesis of this group. Out of a band called Stack Ridge came James Warren and Andy Davis, who formed the Korgis in 1978. Both men wrote and sang, even allowing for pretty even division of labor on the band's 1979 self-titled debut. That album produced a British hit in the track If I Had You, a woebegone new wave ballad distinguished by kind of a weeping slide guitar. Feeling like they could stretch a little bit on their sophomore album, the Korgis expanded into a four-piece. To make that happen, they added guitarist Stuart Gordon and keyboardist Phil Harrison. But co-founder Andy Davis left even before that second album, called Dumbwaiters, was complete. And as a result, James Warren had to go back in and re-record vocals for songs that Davis had already sung in the studio, even ones that weren't in Warren's range. Luckily, the album's big hit wasn't one of those songs. After the success If I Had You, Warren began plotting the type of song that would help break the band here in America. He thought that a sweeping ballad might be just the kind of thing that audiences needed. And with that in mind, he sat at a piano and started stabbing away at a minor seventh chord. The lyrics from the track, Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime, emerged from Warren's growing fascination about Buddhist philosophies. In particular, Warren homed in on the idea that one could start to see the world differently if they could rid themselves of some of the notions that are drilled into somebody at a young age. At first, Warren imagined a typical band performance behind the piano and vocals, but producer David Lord envisioned the synthesizer as the driving force behind the song. It created the effect of a hypnotic reverie, one that could entrance listeners all over the world. And that included the US, where it made the top 20 46 years ago in 1980. So the lyrics to the song start off with, "Change your heart, look around you." And this is sung by James Warren. It's a simple request that offers a positive outcome, the kind of directness that epitomizes the entire song. Warren then promises it will astound you. Going a little bit further, a line like, "I need your loving like the sunshine," could seem cliche, but in the midst of reflective music, it sounds like both an indisputable truth and a desperate plea. Everybody's gotta learn sometime, Warren sings, and he repeats it in the chorus, almost willing his wish into existence.
Change your heart, look around you, change your heart, it will astound you. I need your loving like the sunshine, and everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
And as you might expect, such a unique hit was an impossible feat to repeat for the Korgis, but they certainly left behind an unforgettable classic, an enthralling classic in Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime. One that showed that a synthesizer could add touch to a song instead of just thump.